In Saskatchewan, pothole-type wetlands are common across the landscape. Undrained wetlands are important to agricultural water management and adapting to climate extremes. Wetlands can be a key part of sustainable agriculture and provide many benefits for producers, municipalities, and the environment. Wetlands are areas where water covers the soil or is present near the soil's surface for long enough to result in wetland-type soils and plants. This includes wetlands that hold water for both short periods and all the time. Wetlands help reduce the amount of flooding and nutrients downstream. When it comes to less permanent wetlands, although shallow, they are important in flood prevention as they are plentiful across Saskatchewan. Wetlands can be a source of water in dry periods. Wetlands can provide water and forage for livestock. Many wetlands recharge groundwater. Prairie researchers are actively working to understand which wetlands provide the greatest groundwater recharge. And wetlands provide habitat for prairie species including birds, amphibians, reptiles, insects, and plants. As part of designing a drainage project and receiving a drainage approval, your qualified person who helps with drainage applications will be required to map all the wetlands within the network. At first glance, mapping a wetland can seem tricky because wetland water levels naturally change in the dry prairies.
And because of that resting water, there's like a pretty clear definition of like where the vegetation changes.
The wetland-type vegetation of cattails and sedges changes to upland plants like brome grass at the edge of the wetland. Depending on the year, the water may be lower or higher than this line, but this line reflects where the water is usually around long enough to affect the plants and soils. Drained wetlands can be a bit trickier because the wetland vegetation is all gone. Luckily, soils can tell us the story. Soils that have undergone prolonged periods of intermittent or continuous water saturation will have characteristic red or gray colors from oxidation or rusting.
So right in here, you can see this whole gray spot.
Most of the time, however, wetlands can be reliably mapped without digging lots of holes. A qualified person will look at several air photos from different years to figure out the edges of the wetland. Sometimes wetlands could have been drained long ago, but historic photos show their original extent. This information, combined with your experience, are key to mapping wetlands for your agricultural water management project. Improving yields and profit, reducing downstream impacts of drainage, and buffering extreme weather events are possible when we understand wetlands.